We'll have our week 3 picks. Let's go here. If anybody wants to get to the tier list that I just uploaded to YouTube, that's the link to the tier list. Of course, that'll bring you to the Reddit, which will bring you to the tier list stuff. For those that had not seen the tier list yet, that we had recently done. So, if you're worried about that, that's where that is. Okay. Whoops, daisy. Okay, so we are here, guys, with our SPL Week 3 predictions. Let's see. So last week we did pretty well. There's only one game that hasn't been played yet, and that's LG versus Envy. I gave this two to the way of Envy. This could very easily be a split, but I gave it 2-0 the way of Envy. As far as the rest of it goes, fairly strong. We only missed 2 games this week, of course, not including this last game, which is has not been played yet. But a very strong week, much better than the first week for us. The first week we got like 5 out of 9. This week we're looking at 7 out of 9 if we get this right. Otherwise 6 out of 9. So we're improving our odds. Improving our odds pretty well there. So not so bad. See if we can even improve it in the weeks to come. So starting off our week 3 predictions, we have Enemy versus ALG. Enemy having a very, very strong start to the season with a 2-0 over LG. They did, though, split 1-1 with Denial, which also happens to be the team that Team Allegiance has their 1 win against, is Denial. The 2 losses to Eager, the other loss as well to Denial with a split. Enemy and Allegiance have been scrimming a lot, though. And if there's a team that could take a game as well off of Enemy, like Denial, it's going to be the play style there as Allegiance. So I've got that going the way of split. Next up on our Thursday games, we have Soar Gaming versus Denial Esports. Soar Gaming went ahead and tied up their first round against Envy. They had a split there against Envy. Denial Esports, as we just talked about, beat Randozzo's 2-0, split with Enemy, and split with Allegiance. This one, while Denial's playing really strong, Soar Gaming expected to be one of the top teams in the region. It's still very early into the season. It's still very early into the season, and so it's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going to happen there. But you can expect Soar to come out 2-0. Envy versus Randozzo, this should be the easiest matchup of the week. That should be Envy 2-0, no problem. Randozzo's expecting to have a hard season this season as they grow their team. We have another game here on Thursday. It's crazy. We got 3 games Thursday. Normally there's just 4. I mean, normally there's 3, but this week there's 4. Am I right or am I lit? Yeah. See, 1, 2, 3, NA, and then move. So we have 4 games here. We have Luminosity versus Eager. Luminosity hasn't found a win yet. They will be playing Envy, of course, like I said, later on this day. Which by the time this video is out to you on YouTube, that game will have already been played. So we'll see their scores be a little bit different. I do expect Luminosity, they'll take that 2-0. Even though they don't have a win on their record as of this exact moment, I would expect Luminosity to show up and take that 2-0 over Eager. Paradigm versus the Leftovers. Paradigm, a very strong start to their season with a win, and then they had to go against Panthera. People thought that perhaps Panthera would be able to drop a game to Paradigm. If anybody was going to do it, it was going to be Paradigm. In fact, it was not. Panthera showing just incredibly how dominant they are in the European region. But regardless, I still give this 2-0 the way of Paradigm. I think Paradigm is going to be a very strong second in the region of Europe behind Panthera. Hungry for more, though, in Torpedo. Both of these teams looking to go towards the bottom of the European region. Neither of them having very strong starts. Could go any which way, which means we're going split there. Anytime the game could just go any which way, split is the safest option. Finishing up there, in Europe, we have Panthera versus Fnatic. No question, hands down Panthera. Don't even think about it. When you look at the game, if you see Panthera, just click it. Don't think twice. I don't care if they're against like the all-star team of time. Just pick Panthera until they lose a game, and then we can start thinking about it. But until that point, you just pick Panthera. No excuses. Panthera. Moving onward in our week, we have Cringe Crew and Dignitas. Cringe Crew actually playing pretty well so far here at the start. Dignitas having not a terrible start. You know, they've only played a couple games, but we should expect this to go 2-0 the way of Cringe Crew. Not expecting too much in the way of upsets. There is a couple opportunities this week. CC could drop a game. Panthera won't drop a game. That's going to be close. LG Eager maybe could be a split there. This week isn't crazy hard though, like the first week, but it should be pretty straightforward. Paradigm should take Dig 2-0, especially if Cringe Crew takes Dig 2-0, then 100% Paradigm is. If you're going to be watching those games and if you want to maybe change up your picks. If Dig beats Cringe Crew 2-0, then maybe you want to look at the Paradigm Dig game, but I highly doubt Dig's going to take him on 2-0, so. Envy and ALG, assuming Envy is coming off of wins, ALG coming off of a potential split, we would expect this to go the way of Envy.
I'm never gonna dance again.
Looking to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest team in North America this season. Going the way of Envy.
I know you're not a fool.
Although, this LG Envy game that hasn't been played just quite yet as of the making this video, could maybe inflict some damage onto Envy. If, say, LG won that 2-0, that could be a bit of a morale booster, or a bit of a morale dump onto Envy, but like I said, I still would expect them to win that 2-0. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. And then finally, Panthera against Cringe Crew. What's the rule that we established earlier? You look, you see Panthera, you pick Panthera. Easiest elo you'll ever get in your whole life. Easy elo. Easiest elo you're ever going to see in your entire life. And those are the picks that we're looking at this week, guys. Enemy ALG split. Soar 2-0 over Denial. Envy over Randozos. LG over Eager. Paradigm over Leftovers. Split between Torpedo Gaming. We got Panthera over Fnatic. Cringe Crew over Dig. Paradigm over Dig. And Envy over ALG. And finally, Panthera over Cringe Crew. Finishing up our entire lineup there for our FP, and something Hindu would say, free FP week.